Hello everyone, welcome to Arrowcody. Please show support to this broadcast. Please, by all means, share it with your friends, your family, and show some support and dedication and work that you put in every day in every blocks of life so you can form and mold yourself and better yourself as a spiritual being and better yourself as a mental and physical fitness awareness person, as well as a spiritual leadership, and become a better you. This channel is based on spirituality. It's based on virtual reality understanding and based on collecting your thoughts and simply thinking of your future ahead of time. And I hope y'all enjoy this stream. Hope y'all enjoy this broadcast. Share it with your friends, your family, and give a little bit of donation here and there. Arrowcody, welcome to the show. Checking 1 2, checking 1 2. We on. Arrowcody is on live. Today we are going to talk about, do we live in a virtual reality in a matrix-like world? My question to you is, yes, we do. But if you were to perceive that question as I'm asking you the question, you perceive it with the naked eye, so you don't actually think that I'm asking you the question, you're asking yourself the question. Because you're rethinking your self-environment and self-understanding to try to take and cultivating reason to change with the seasons. So, example 1, I'm going to show you and prove to you that we live in the Matrix. Take a sheet of paper, for example. Now, you're going to put, I am lost in the woods. Now, skip the word lost and tell somebody to read the paper. They're going to read, I am lost in the woods, because that's the way they perceive it, because they see what they want to see. Now you tell them to read it again, the word lost is not in there, but they perceived it that way, because that's the way you read it. So as I say something, you perceive it as something different from what you're seeing and what you're hearing. So if I was to say the sun is bright, your brain is simply collecting the process of thinking that the sun is bright. But if I was to say the sun is not bright, you'll agree with me and say, yeah, you're right, the sun ain't really bright today, when really it is, because that's the way your brain is construing it to believe in, because it's simply taking information and collecting it in a way of rethinking its atmosphere or its way of perceiving something with the naked eye. So what you see, what you hear, is not always what you need to hear or what you need to see. Pretty much, we do live in like a matrix-like world. I believe we do. And I believe the God that we perceive is what we think God is, because we perceive it from somebody else's opinion instead of perceiving it in our own understanding. So if I was to say God is this, you believe it because your brain is construing in it to make it real to you. So if I was to believe in something strongly, so cold-heartedly, it becomes real to me. It becomes attribution. It becomes like astrophysics. It becomes a way of believing in something, in a view that somebody else has given you, and you're perceiving it that way, when really it's the opposite of what you're perceiving it to be. So if I was to say, I believe in the Lord, then you believe in the Lord because your brain is fit to process and access that, because that's all you were taught growing up. So as a kid, we are in this world born with so much more, so much to give to life, so much energy, so much knowledge that we don't even know we have. so much empowerment that we don't know we actually do and have in our own hands. So as a kid, your mind is open to possibilities, endless possibilities. You have an imagination that frails wild, that goes out and explores, goes out and see things in a different view than what your family perceives it. Because what your family sees is not what you see. What you see might be different from what they see. What they see might be different from what you see. So yes, I do believe we live in a matrix-like world. And another reason for that is because seasons change along with time, but time also is like a rhythm. It beats with the drum beat of your heart. So if you think about it and you perceive something with the naked eye, you only see what you want to see instead of seeing what you need to see. As a kid, our mind is open, so we see what we need to see and not what we want to see. But when you're taught all your life that something is this way, you start to believe in it because it's programmed in your mind. It's programmed to make you think this way. It's programmed to make you feel a certain way. It's programmed to make you look a certain way, feel a certain way, dress a certain way, because all your life you were told this or that, or this is that and this is not that, and then you're programmed to believe in it. So when you set aside the differences and accept it and learn from it, you learn that we do live in a virtual reality, in a matrix-like world. I believe certainly that we do live in a matrix-like world. I believe cold-heartedly we do. There's a lot of proclaimed fixed ideas set on a tradition because they're programmed to believe in a tradition. Like if I was to say God is real and all your life you're taught God is real, you're programmed to believe in that. You're programmed to state your mind and opinion about it. And cold-heartedly, you believe in it, so it turns real to you. It turns into a part of you. You're programmed in every single way when you're born. You're programmed to believe a certain way. You're programmed to think a certain way. You're programmed to commit and dedicate yourself to something because all your life, that's what you were taught growing up. But in reality, in the matrix-like world, things is not always what we see with the naked eye. Things is not always what we hear with the naked ear. There's more to life that meets the eye. A true statement, a true absolute statement is that everything has a possibility. Everything is endless. It's a matrix-like world of never-ending learning, growing experience. We grow to strive to perfect ourselves. We grow to strive to believe in something more than ourselves. There's so much more that meets the eye. There's so much more than what you hear and what you think you're hearing. So if I was to say, my name is so-and-so, you're going to believe my name is so-and-so. But if you were to look at my documents and records, you won't be programmed to believe in that because something else says otherwise. But if I was to say this and there was only a few documents behind my existence, then you'll start to see the bigger picture like, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe he is so-and-so. But really, in reality, I'm not what I say I am. It's just the way you perceive it, the way you think it, the way you act on it is the way it would determine your future. So, do we live in a matrix-like world? I believe we do. I cold-heartedly believe we do. Do we think and perceive things differently than what others perceive and think of us? It's all a point of view, a perceivance of perspective. What you see may not be what I see. What he sees may not be what he sees. A matrix-like world is an endless possibility. Anything can be what we think, but the more we look into it, the more we realize what reality truly is, and what the matrix-like world has to offer, and what we truly are not and what we are supposed to be. Now, all that being said, I want to ask you a couple questions to determine, do we live in the matrix? Close your eyes and imagine a place. Feel the air around you or wherever you are right now, and listen to the sounds and visualize the ocean. You'll perceive it differently when you hear the sounds. You won't see the ocean. You hear the highway, so you're perceiving a highway. Now, if I was to tell you to hear the ocean and hear no highway, and you were at the ocean, and you were actually listening to the ocean, then you're going to perceive it and program it in your brain where you're actually listening to the ocean. In reality, everything is not what we think. Everything is not what we seem. Everything is not what we address ourselves to be or how we want to become. Everything is like a season, changing for the reasons behind the seasons of the reason. Nothing is what it seems. Nothing is what it looks like. Nothing is what we think and what we hear. There's more that meets the eye. There's more that meets the hearing of what we hear. If I was to read a book and show you the word is not in the book, to show you exactly that you are wrong, to show you that, example for I am lost in the woods, I'll sit here and read it first and say I am lost in the woods, and then I'll tell you to read it and you say, yeah, it says I'm lost in the woods. You're going to come back and read it again, and I'll show you lost is not in there. I am in the woods is in there, but I am lost is not in the word, in the picture, in the book. What you perceive is how you're programmed to think. What you're programmed to think is not always what you need. Remember that, people. Do that test. Do what I told you, and you'll see what I'm saying. You'll see that nothing is what we think. Nothing is what we see with the naked eye. Everything is in a bigger picture. As a glob of paint, for example, take a glob of paint with different colors. Each individual person is going to perceive those colors in a different view because their mind's programmed to think it's this when it's really this. Example 2. Now, for example 3, open your mind, empty your mind, be shapeless, formless, like water. Put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. Put water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Put water in that river, it becomes that river. Now water can creep, drip, flow, or crash. Be water. Nothing, and absolutely nothing, is what we perceive, what we think, what we see, what we hear. There's more than any of that. And once you open your mind and open your heart and soul and spirit, you'll see the bigger picture. You'll see for what it is and accept it and grow from it and strive from it to better spiritual lead a spiritual person and become a spiritual person. Until then, you don't understand truth. You don't understand nothing but what you are programmed to think, what you're programmed to see. What you think and what you perceive is all point of opinion of somebody else's behalf. Is not absolutely what is right. So find your own truth, find your own destiny, and you'll find the exact way of how to live your life. Arrowcody signing out. Until next time, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this broadcast. Please share. Please support this channel. And by all means, stay safe and don't give up.